Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I'm going to be trying the first chapter of 10 new release thrillers that just came out over the last month or so. I can't decide which books that I want to put in my next new release thriller vlog, but I know I want to film a new release thriller vlog. So in this video, I'm going to try out the first chapters of 10 thrillers, narrow it down, and put the highest rated first chapters in my new release thriller vlog. So y'all will get the tea on all 10, at least my first impression of them, in this video, and then you'll know the books that I'm going to be reading the full length of and giving you the full review probably in my next video if this all goes well. So let's go move out to the living room. I'm gonna get comfy and get ready to read 10 chapters. All right, I have 4 books on my Kindle and 6 physical books, all new releases. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'll run through all of them really quickly before I start. I have A Happy Marriage by A.R. Torre, The Villa by Ruth Kelly, The Compound by Aisling Raleigh, and The Summer Holiday by S.E. Lines, all on my Kindle. Those are all from Kindle Unlimited except for The Compound, but you guys were commenting that I needed to read that one so often that I just went ahead and bought the ebook literally earlier today because I cannot with y'all. Y'all keep commenting it everywhere, so I'm like, apparently and allegedly I'm gonna love that one. Then for physical books, I have the new Sarah Pinborough, We Live Here Now, the new Craig DeLuey, My Ex the Antichrist, the new Andrea Bart's The Last Fairy Out, the new Ruth Ware, this is The Woman in Suite 11. This is a sequel to The Woman in Cabin 10, which I loved that book. You Don't Belong Here Anymore, this is the new Megan Miranda release. And Our Last Resort by Clemence McCallan. If you don't know Clemence McCallan, she wrote The Quiet Tenant, which I loved last year. I read it in my book club and we all pretty much loved it. We have a very good stack of physical books here. We also have my few Kindle books. I'm going to get into my first one and give y'all the tea on the first chapter. All right, I just read the first chapter of A Happy Marriage by A.R. Torre, and honestly, it was so good. This book sounds crazy and the initial chapter just hooked me so much. I'm so happy this started out on a good note. So in The Happy Marriage, we are following a homicide detective and her husband is a psychiatrist, but her husband has a secret that he's been keeping from her over their decade-long marriage. He is a serial killer. Not just any serial killer, but the killer that she is tracking down on her latest case. Little does this woman know, she is looking for the killer that is actually her husband. And the first chapter of this book was from his perspective, and he's literally just talking about his weird, creepy love for his wife, but he's also talking about his weird, creepy love for killing. And I'm already wondering, is he gonna kill her? I think this is chilling. It's that signature A.R. Torre, like creepy, crawly writing style where you just are in it right from the beginning. I loved it so much and I'm definitely giving this a 10 out of 10. I think this will for sure be included in my new release thriller vlog. Now that I'm already on my Kindle, I might as well read another one from my Kindle. So let's get into The Compound by Aisling Raleigh. So The Compound is a reality TV thriller, and I think this is getting recommended to me so much because I recently read Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 and 1 in 4, and both of those thrillers were kind of pitched as reality show thrillers, but in reality, the show left us at about the 30 to 50% mark and we never went back to it. It was just kind of like a marketing thing. But apparently in The Compound, you are in the reality show the entirety of the book, and that is what the book is based around. It's kind of like Love Island, like Big Brother-esque, where 20 people are on this luxurious compound and you have to be the last to make it. The last to make it on the compound wins, and it's cutthroat. It's a competition. People are going missing or ending up dead, but you have to do what you need to do to win the compound, and people are going to do whatever it takes. I think this sounds so good. I'm about to get into the first chapter and I'll let you know what I'm thinking. Okay, the first chapter of The Compound was significantly longer. I actually do feel like it dragged on a little bit. a lot happened, but at the same time, nothing happened in the first chapter of the compound. We basically are introduced to the compound and we get a tour of the grounds, this like grand villa, and 10 girls wake up there disheveled, and they're not supposed to say that they know that they're on a show. Even though they know they're on the show, they're not supposed to talk about knowing about the show or watching previous seasons of the show, even though clearly they all know what's going on. And all the 10 girls are getting to know the house and getting to know each other, and they're anticipating the arrival of 10 boys, and they're talking about like who they're thinking of coupling up with, even though they don't even know the men there. They just know like the typical crop of people that are brought in for the show. So they're talking about it in like vague ways. They're told not to give like personal information. It's just basically 10 girls getting a feel for each other and acclimating to their house, waiting on the men arriving. It was honestly kind of an underwhelming start, but as the drama picks up, as the boys come in, as it gets more like Love Island-esque, I'm sure it will get more intriguing. Just based off the first chapter, I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I know that sounds a little harsh. It just honestly did drag on a little bit, so I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm going to actually next up read the first chapter of The Villa by Ruth Kelly. This is another like Love Island-y kind of thriller that came out recently. It says that there are 10 people on a beach filming a reality show, and only one can win, and somebody's gonna end up dead. One of the 10 contestants is actually a journalist undercover, and she's there to try to expose what's going on in the villa and also win and report on that from the inside out. So I'm gonna get into this first chapter and we'll see how it compares to the compound. Okay, the first chapter of the villa was much quicker than the compound, but I also feel like I know nothing about the show. It's kind of like a flash forward is what we got. We got like a investigator guy going through with gloves, like looking through evidence, finding blood, finding a dead body. Obviously we don't know whose it is, and he's asking the producers like, where are the cameras, because we have to figure out what happened. And one of the producers just like breaks down and she's like, no, this show is my baby, like I can't leave it. I can't accept that it is all ruined by murder. It was pretty exciting, pretty intriguing. I feel like I don't know too much, but it kind of makes me want to keep reading to find out more. I don't know if this is a dating show or a more like competition-based show at this point, but I'm excited to see what it is, because I think the whole course of the book is going to be about the show. Obviously, since we just got a sneak peek at the end, and the show is still there and a part of the plot, I'm excited to see what it's gonna hold. I would give it like a 7 at this point. There was nothing really stand out about the characters or the writing style, but I am a little bit more intrigued than I was reading the first chapter of The Compound. I will definitely be reading both of these, but they're not immediately pulling my attention. The last one that I have on my Kindle is The Summer Holiday by S.E. Lines. And I've really liked S.E. Lines in the past. I've given multiple of her books 4 and 5 stars, so I'm excited to get into this new one. This is about a girl who invites her college friend to come stay for a holiday at this beautiful villa with her and her husband so they can reconnect. And when she opens the door and greets her friend, her husband from behind her and the friend at the door have a weird moment. And the wife instantly is like, they have history, but they both kind of stumble over and lie through it. So we are trying to figure out how they know each other. I'm sure there's going to be drama, secrets, lies, all the things, and summer vibes. I'm going to get into this first chapter and let you know. So the Summer Holiday was really, really quick, first chapter, and it's very intriguing. It sounds like very dramatic. This is another one where we're kind of like starting at the end before we get to the beginning. It's a sneak peek into what's to come, where there's one person bloody and terrified stumbling out into the middle of the road trying to get help, because we know that the other 2 characters have been psychologically tormenting them, and they just got a chance to escape the turmoil that was going on there. Apparently 2 of the characters are going to really gang up on another one. Obviously, I think we're meant to believe that this is the wife, but I think maybe this is just an initial theory based off the first chapter. maybe the college friend is the one that was lured into this situation and the couple are the crazy ones. I don't know. It sounds really good though. Honestly, I would give it an 8. I'm pretty excited to read this one. It's described as addictive in the synopsis, and I definitely already feel that. But so far, just from the Kindle books, definitely A Happy Marriage is in first place. I am gonna read that one for sure in my new release thriller vlog. But now let's go ahead and get into the 6 physical books that I have here, and we will fill out the rest of my TBR. Okay, I just read the first chapter of Our Last Resort by Clemence McCallan and My Ex the Antichrist by Craig DeLuey, and I really enjoyed both of them. In Our Last Resort, this book is about a brother and sister who are coming together at this luxurious hotel to try to reconnect in a low-pressure environment. The last time they saw each other, they were escaping the cult that they were raised in as children together, and the brother was suspected of murder. Now they're staying at this resort and someone dies and she worries that her brother has struck again. In the first chapter, we are following the girl witness a fight going on between a billionaire and his young wife at this like elite resort, and I'm pretty sure either the billionaire or the wife are going to be the victim of who we're thinking at this point is the brother. I'm intrigued. I really like Clemence McCallan's writing style. I forgot how like snappy and quick it is, and immediately I'm just like in the rhythm of it. I would give it a solid like 7.5, 8. I'm interested to get into this one for sure. And then My Ex the Antichrist, this one sounds so good. Okay, so we are following a punk rock band from the early 2000s, and in the height of their fame, the lead singer walked into a police station and confessed to a murder, and no one knew why. And this is now the tell-all of the whole band coming back together and telling the story of their rise to fame, their final performance, and Lily, the main singer's big murder confession. It is told in interview style, like a documentary, and it feels exactly like the horrified version of Daisy Jones and the Six. I fucking love it. The first chapter was really long, but honestly, it passed really quickly because I'm just so intrigued. There seems to be this like really toxic romance between the singer, main character who confessed to the murder, and her guitarist. I think it's going to be like toxic love meets punk rock meets murder confession. It's literally horror Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm living for it. Clearly, this is a 10 out of 10. Clearly, this is going in my new release video. I'm so excited to read this for the vlog. My next 2 I'm gonna get into are You Don't Belong Here by Megan Miranda and The Woman in Suite 11 by Ruth Ware. All right, so I just realized by reading this first chapter that this book is actually just called You Belong Here, not You Don't Belong Here. Even though it literally says that on the cover, it's a little confusing, but yeah, it's just You Belong Here. And in this book, we are following this woman. Years and years ago, her college town saw the murder of 2 men. And on the night that these 2 men were murdered, her roommate just ran away, ran into the night. And she's like, you know what? My roommate didn't do anything. I don't know anything. So she ended up protecting her, and the murders went unsolved. But now in present day, as much as she's tried to avoid going back to her small college town, her daughter secretly applies to go to school there and she has to return, and things start going wrong yet again. I thought this was like standard first chapter of a thriller where someone is forced to return to the small town that they don't want to go back to because murders occurred there. Like, I would give it a 6. It just felt kind of standard, normal thriller vibes. I'm definitely going to want to get around to this eventually, but initially it's just not sucking me in that much. So it's average, but I'm not going to be rushing to read it. And then with The Woman in Suite 11, I will say I feel like I need to refresh myself on everything that happened in The Woman in Cabin 10 because I don't don't really remember too much of it. I think I read it in like 2016 or 2017 when it first came out. But initially, I'm already really liking the first chapter of this. We're following the same investigative journalist character that we followed in the first book, and she is back again investigating a new opening of a new hotel. She got invited on this exclusive cruise to review it in the first book, and now she's invited to this beautiful, luxurious event in Switzerland to report on it. And it's years later, she's kind of been out of the game, and her husband is trying to convince her to go take this opportunity, and she's considering it. Honestly, this feels really similar to the very beginning of The Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware that came out last year or the year before, and I really like that one. I just really like Ruth Ware's writing style. It's really quirky and fun and easy to get into. I would give this book like an 8.5 just based on the first chapter. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. So finally, I will be getting into my last couple books here. The Last Fairy Out by Andrea Bartz and We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough, and I will come back with my final verdict on these chapters. All right, I really liked both of those. First of all, we'll get into We Live Here Now. This one is about a couple. The wife actually just woke up from a coma, and the husband is like, you know what? We need a fresh start. So he moves them out to the country in this gothic mansion. And apparently the wife is going to slowly over the course of the book believe that it's haunted by someone who was murdered there. It's very gothic vibes, like the prologue before I got even into the first chapter. The scene was set so beautifully. Immediately I'm in it. I'm getting like this spooky summerween energy that I've been craving. It just feels like Halloween. Like, I love the gothic atmosphere right from the jump. And it's kind of this resigned feeling of this woman is like, girl, I just woke up from a coma. I don't know what the hell is happening. My husband just took me here. I guess I live here now. And she's trying to make sense of things, and I'm right along with her. Honestly, I feel really sucked into this. I think I'm gonna give it a 9 or a 9.5. Like, the atmosphere is really good. I love a little classic haunted house story, and we know Sarah Pinborough, she loves her twists, so I'm hoping one of those is gonna hit in here. And then, of course, I also read the first chapter of The Last Fairy Out. In this book, we are following a woman, and her wife was murdered on a trip. She was planning to meet up with her wife halfway through the trip, but her wife was killed before she got a chance to do that. Or I guess her wife was in an accident, but really she believes that something more nefarious happened. So now she's flown out to this island to try to investigate and see what's going on. And immediately I feel so aligned with our main character. We are following her as she retraces her steps on the island, and I'm already feeling connected to their relationship, to our main character. I'm intrigued as to what was possibly going on. We're talking about like the texts that she received right before her fiance died, and I'm like, there's something weird going on this island for sure. I love the sapphic representation. I love that it's going to take place on an island, so summery, and I'm already into the vibes of it all, so I would give this like a solid 8.5. So at this point, I think my vlog TBR is all decided. I will definitely be reading A Happy Marriage by A.R. Torre, My Ex the Antichrist by Craig DeLuey, We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough, and I actually just got a notification that my Libby hold for 50/50 by Steve Kavanaugh came in, and I was like way down the line for that, so I need to read it with a quickness. I will probably be including that one in there as well, even though I didn't get a chance to read the first chapter, just because I want to read it before my hold runs out. You guys can look forward to that vlog coming in the next week or so. Subscribe for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little taste test video. I love doing a try a chapter video, especially when I'm like overwhelmed by choice and I have so many many good books to choose from. Just helps me narrow down. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do that. If you did, go ahead and give this video a like, and like I said, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the upcoming vlog. If you want my thoughts on any of these books, put it down below in the comments and I'll put those books in future vlogs. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!